Okay, so hi guys, welcome back to Pop My Cherry Podcast with myself, Gerry Labs. We've got Luke with us today. So there's a team here, by the way. So there's Sean and there's Luke. You maybe have heard Luke sometimes in the background, but Sean's a bit of like a Mariah Carey, isn't he? Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think he loves it.
I think he loves it, loves the attention of this like newfound like podcast status. Any guest coming on, they're like, oh my God, Sean, they're all mad about him. But they're so mad about him, Sean's just not here today. He's had a bit of a divas drop. That's a lie. We're only joking. He's away walking the kid. So it's myself and Luke today. This is a solo episode. We've had loads of guests this month. So we've had Emma Kearney. We have had Luke, we have had Dervla Kelly and Mary Doll. So this is a solo one. This is the end of the month of March. And I suppose it's just a bit of a recap one. I am going to be heading away next week to Thailand. Have you ever been to Thailand, Luke?
No, I would love to though.
No, really. Thailand is honestly one of the most beautiful places in the world. And anybody listening, if you've never been, I really can't encourage it enough. Like, I remember the first time I went, it was very much like... I was nearly scaremonger, like, oh, Thai belly, like, don't eat the food because you could get like sick, and be careful, and it's dangerous, and it's this and that and whatever. And I suppose like most places maybe likely are, you have to have a bit of a wit about you, but genuinely far from it. Like, Thailand's just such a beautiful place, like the culture, the people, like it just has like everything, you know. If you want to like, you know, see like different temples, you know, Buddhism's very much like their way of life over there. So it's very much, you know, like do good things happen. Do bad things happen. I believe in the philosophy of karma. Like, you know, I just love the kind of the vibe of it. But then as well, like, you know, if you want a bit of wild stuff, there's like the ping pong shows. They're an experience. You've got like the Ladyboy shows. They're also amazing. Have you ever seen like, because Ladyboy shows come here sometimes, like Ladyboys at Bangkok?
Yeah, I remember they used to be on like Custom House Square.
Custom House Square used to do them, yeah. But they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
See, I love the like sort of Southeast Asian like culture, and like especially the food. Like it's
like Thai food. You mean?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah,
even Vietnamese stuff and all. And like I'd be mad into the sort of like Muay Thai and like Thai boxing and stuff.
Oh
as well. Like,
yes.
It would be sort of like a bucket list thing for me to go there. And
oh my God, you love it then.
Like yeah.
Because it's massive over there too.
Oh yeah, that's their hurling. Like
it's there. I love the wee Thai short. You know, the wee boxing shorts.
Yeah.
I always think they're really cool, like the wee high waisted ones. But I've never been to any of them. I'd love to go and see. Like, is it Muay Thai or Mai Tai?
Muay Thai.
Mai Thai's a drink.
Well, you drink Mai Tais while watching Muay
Thai. Fuck. You can tell I'm not sporty spice. Muay Thai, right? I always thought it was Mai Tai, right? So, oops, completely in a different spectrum there. But no, like going there next week. But because I've done it before, I've done the whole island hopping thing. So Koh Phi Phi, Koh Phangan, all that there. So we're going straight to Phuket, and it's very much like a chilled holiday. Awesome. However, when you say that when you're going to Thailand, it always ends up being the complete opposite. I remember the last time I don't know why I thought we'd be doing like retreats and yoga in the jungle and shit like that, and then it was just a fucking shit show.
Were you flying about in scooters and all?
Oh my God, it's mental, absolutely mental. But you're rode off the whole time. Like they have these big buckets, and we were talking a minute ago about like drinking and stuff. We'll get on to that, but the buckets, they're like fuck it buckets, and blow the fucking head of you. I remember being in Bangkok, and it was just mental. The Koh San Road, if you've been there, you know Bangkok's just, so you've got the islands, and then you've got Bangkok, and Bangkok's just crazy, overpopulated, absolutely fucking mental. Wee bit smelly, like there's a weird smell, like dragon fruit or something in the air. There's just very like humid. But the islands are absolutely beautiful. So that's just why we're giving Bangkok a miss, which is not like me. You know, I never usually miss a Bangkok, but we're going straight to the island. So I'm heading next week. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So I suppose this episode is just like a bit of a recap one. We were talking there a minute ago, look, about like, you're saying that you're a wee bit more like nursing a hangover today. Thursday Club.
Yeah. No,
Thursday Club, I think, is coming back.
I wouldn't even say a hangover. Like, it's just
groggy.
Yeah, you drink 2 beers these days and you feel
don't even
just like you couldn't be arse like.
But this is the thing, you see, whenever like you hit like, and what age are you? Like you're 26.
26, yeah.
26.
Had to think about that.
Had to think about it. But the thing is, when you hit like 30, it's just a different ball game. So I'd say once you hit the over 25s in the X Factor, once you're in that like over 25 category, you're Mary Byrne, right? Chico, you know them all. You're in the category with like Wagner, the full works, drink just doesn't, you're not young, wild and free. You're still young, wild and free mentally, but like the hangovers are starting to really hit. It's like a 1-day hangover, then a 2-day hangover, things like that. I start to get anxiety, whatever. Once you hit 30, there's a pros and cons list of actually you're that deep in hangovers that even the thought of a night out would give you a hangover.
Puts you off it, like.
It puts you off it. Like, see me going out, it's literally bar mitzvah, a wedding, somebody's 30th birthday. If it's 26 or 27, I'm not going to it. Yeah. You really have to pick what is worth a night out. Yeah. But then I do find though on a holiday, for some reason, you don't get a hangover. I don't know why that is. Have you noticed this?
You're too excited and you're like...
Do you think is that what it is?
Or like you don't want to waste the fact that you're there.
Yeah.
Enough that you're going to miss like a full day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I suppose it's like there's a difference in, say, like waking up in your own bed with the absolute fear of what you've done in your local area where everybody knows you.
True as well.
Maybe like, there's maybe like spilt pot noodle over the bed and you don't want to open the curtains.
Yeah.
And there's clothes lying everywhere. Like there's like that kind of mess of a hangover versus like waking up, opening the curtains, going out to your balcony, sun is shining. Oh my God. Yep. Also on holidays, there's no real rules. If you're seen in a bar here before 12, people will question it.
Yep.
In another country, it doesn't count.
Yeah, you're on your holidays.
You're on your holiday. Like, I'm on my holidays. I'm on my holidays. You can just do whatever you want. Like, I think there's no rules. Yeah. So I always think like a wee strawberry daiquiri, nothing too crazy to start off with. Strawberry daiquiri or pina colada, we dip in the pool. That's you good to go again.
It's sort of like different cultures as well. Like it's more acceptable to sort of be like drinking. Sitting out in the
well, we're Irish. We should be. I think it is acceptable here.
Like you would get dirty looks if you were sitting in the town drinking a bottle of wine. Like
yeah. Aye,
on
like
a bench.
Yeah, aye.
But if you're in Paris, like I mean,
it's kind of a thing.
Open the bottle for you, like
aye. It's a different culture. I know what you mean. But it's mad. Like whenever I think of like drinking now, I wouldn't really drink much. So like I don't know what way Thailand. Like this is like whenever I go away, a holiday's me letting loose. But this one, we'll do a mix of like relaxing and a mix of like kind of party or like nightlife and things like that. But this is the thing, I don't really kind of go out anymore. So, but it's made me think, it's starting to come, like a conversation starting to happen. Like on TikTok, there's like a creator, her name's Lauren Whelan. I don't know if you'd be familiar with her or not, but she made a video. It kind of got a bit of backlash. So she basically was calling out like Gen Z generations for being boring.
Okay, so what would Gen Z be?
So Gen Z would be kind of but I don't really know the actual thing, but I know a Gen Z would be ChatGPT. Let's find out. But in my analogy, it's like anybody under the age of like I suppose like 18 to like 23.
Gen Z is
we've got the facts.
95 to 2012.
All right. So millennial is from 90 to 94.
80 to 94.
80 to 94. Oh my God, right? Yeah. I never knew that.
Yep.
So if you're born in 1995 and above, you are officially a Gen Z. Well done. So the Gen Z's basically...
But then there's Generation Alpha is 2013 to now.
Oh really? Right.
Yeah, so there's another one after.
But are they not all like 10?
If you can work out what 2013
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. So well, they haven't hit the social scenes yet to start to have their like title yet. But the young ones, so. But the thing is, they never got to, I've said this on here before, they didn't get to experience nightlife like the way that all of us did. Yeah. So, like we'll do like a wee bit of like a memory lane kind of thing. Yeah. There's loads of nightclubs closing, which is quite sad to see. The industry's really definitely taken a hit after COVID. But this creator made a TikTok calling everybody out, basically being like, what's happened to like going to the club, getting feral, going mad. Like that's what your 20s are all about now. It's all about drinking matcha, being part-time vegan, Pilates, so young ones just aren't interested in like the clubbing scene.
Yeah. I think as well, like, I mean,
in ways it's good, in ways it's bad.
Yeah, but there's like a whole generation there that like we're going through like uni.
Yeah.
And everything was closing, like during COVID and stuff and all. And even whenever things came back, it just never came back the same way.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole...
Do you think that's the reason why that's influenced the culture then?
It's something to do with it. Like,
it definitely plays a part.
From my experience, like working in like events and stuff as well, like I found that things tend to be over earlier than what they used to.
Yeah.
Even with like people buying tickets for things, people wouldn't buy a ticket to something, well, as much as they would have in advance. It would be more so like the week before, right, we'll see what's happening. I think there's like a bit of a lingering like effect of like, oh, well, it might be cancelled, so do you know what I mean? It might be fading out now because it's been a couple of years, but for a while there it was definitely like that.
So
you know,
because it was, remember, 1 minute it was open, then it was next minute like 4 people had to sit at a table and you weren't allowed to leave the table, and then it was like, it wasn't really,
you're only allowed to drink if there was pizza there,
and you had to have food and all.
because I remember do
you remember Eat Out to Help Out? I loved it.
Class.
It was class.
Half price,
like. It wasn't all bad. It was terrible. But no, but the thing is, the young ones, like, I do feel like they have missed out on it. I don't think it's their fault. So this creator was calling them out as if it was their fault, and then she got backlash like, this is the way we choose to live our life. Like, why do people, like, you know, there's that kind of debate going on. Where, like, I suppose, and I can see it, like, you know, for people to be a lot more sober curious, have a healthier relationship with alcohol, not getting absolutely blitzed like the way we all would have, where we've made, like, say, so many mistakes, or you know, alcohol obviously has its darkness, but then also there was a lot of fun moments too, and it's not even about drinking and getting absolutely pissed, just like it's dancing, being in a club and dancing, and like the cheesiness and like nobody cared, the carefree attitude. I think now we live in such like a serious world, but we were talking there, like, you know, whenever I think of places, like whenever I was a student, like places I love, so Box, we were talking about 90p drinks, we've talked about that on here before. El Divino, loved it, the 3 levels. You always started off kind of like, did you ever do El Divino?
I don't.
Were you too young?
No, I definitely remember it being about. I remember people going. So
yeah.
I might have went once.
Were you maybe like, Were you maybe like underage drinking? Would you have been like a teenager?
No.
El Divino would have been really at its peak whenever I was like in uni.
Yeah.
So I would have been like 21.
Okay.
But it was massive, but it had the 3 levels. So the first floor was kind of like your R&B, mellowy chill. So you started off very like, hey. Then the second floor,
like,
it got a wee bit more like, you know, and then the third floor was like dance. But it was such an unbelievable like club space. Thompson still standing strong.
Haven't been to it in years and years.
Well, it got a refurb. Still going strong. It stood the test of time.
Yeah, I think it probably always will. Like,
I think it always will.
It was sort of like the OG. Like
it is. I always loved like Funkorama with John Boy. It was my favourite night. But then there was like, then you had student nights, so there was like Scratch Mondays, it was called. I think it was maybe in like the Limelight. There was like Stiff Kitten. Anybody listening, do you remember Stiff Kitten? The Parlour? Did you ever do the Parlour?
Yeah.
Is it still about?
Yeah.
Oh right. Oh
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still about. Like
yeah. And it was up beside, and then Mandela Hall, Queen's Student Union used to be unbelievable for raves. That's where Shine used to be before Shine was like the Telegraph building.
Yeah, even like on like every Friday night, it's probably still going. There was just like the sort of club night in the Student Union, and it was dead like cheesy, and the tunes were all just like you know,
but like
but it was cheap drinks, and like I went there a lot because I would have known a lot of people there. Do you know what I mean? Because it was sort of that thing, like, I don't know about you, but like being from and living in Belfast, it was sort of like,
so Belfast to us was such a big, so this is kind of, we're the country bumpkin, so we all like moved up, everybody moved into the Holy Land, so like Belfast was, we kind of stuck to our own, and I think Belfast people like to hated us, but you know, we really got tired with that culty stick, but to us moving, I was like, oh, moving up to the big smoke, that's what we would call it.
See, I think like from my experience in the Queen's Student Union and stuff, like majority of people didn't go to Queen's.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
No.
So it was mainly all Belfast ones, like so it was sort of a thing that you would start going there, like when you were maybe like in say like upper sixth in school or whatever, and you were maybe like 17, or like some of your mates were 18, and it was very cheap drinks and
it was kind of like
stuff, like, you know, good crack all the same though,
but like there was, Belfast just have such great nightclubs. There was a one, I don't know if many people would remember this or not, they used to have an event, it was called Tuesdays, and it was in Avisa, but Avisa is where basically, do you know the Perch?
Yep.
So kind of like the Perch, Rita's, all them bars, that was like called Avisa at a time, and then Rain, which was then Libertine, which is now shut.
Right.
So Libertine was like a gay bar that was recent, and it was meant to be unbelievable. I never got a chance to go to it, but then it had closed, but it used to be Rain.
Okay. I remember hearing,
and it was like the after club.
Right, okay.
So it stayed open at like 3.
A bit later, right, okay.
A bit later, and then Beach Club. You know, Beach Club, it was in the Odyssey.
In the Odyssey, yeah.
And yeah, so many. But we were talking about Weatherspoons there, still about.
Still going. Like,
I love a wee cheeky Weatherspoon. And I haven't done it in years now.
Same.
But like, you know, like I love it whenever you see, do you know, whenever you see somebody maybe on Instagram, like they're just like a total like hun, you know, like just like Rihanna red hair, like, you know, like big tattoo in their arm. They're just that diva, like, and they're, you know, they put the wee photo up very like mums on Facebook coded. And, you know, they put the photo up of their table number and then they write like, do your worst. And it's just like, and I always wonder, does anybody actually ever buy them a drink? Have you ever bought anybody a drink from a story that you've seen in like a Weatherspoon?
Nope.
No. I'm miserable, like.
No.
I don't think I ever have.
You should try it.
I'm going to do it maybe. But then I had a friend, they did it one time, and then they said that apparently people just bought them all this random shit, like a bowl of peas.
Yeah, or like
you know, just taking the piss.
Like a glass of milk or something.
Glass of milk and like like you did, like they didn't get the drinks. But I always love Weatherspoons, cheap and cheerful, and like it was just like, oh my god, like
it's always good when you like stumble across one if you're in like, you know, like Liverpool or like
oh
London
my
or
god,
like,
yeah.
or,
but it's always, oh my god, see over there, like characters.
Yeah.
There's always a man with like a full, like a skinhead man with a leather jacket. It's just, you know, there's a wee old man that's reading the paper, reading the horses, the horses, yeah.
And the news is on, but the sound isn't on. It's just subtitles. Like,
yeah. And then there's always this kind of like, you know, like kind of like promiscuous woman. You know, with like the wee hooker boots on, and she's always putting money into the jukebox, or like, you know, just very like the Rovers return on steroids is like Weatherspoons.
Franchised.
Yeah, very just eccentric. Shameless. You ever watch Shameless? You would love Shameless. You see, we're gonna have a lot of it. Like you're too young.
I never like got into it.
Really? So you would have been about when it was about
the UK one, like
Shameless. Yeah. Oh, I fuck the American one. No, it was shit. No, Frank Gallagher.
Yeah.
Make poverty history, cheaper drugs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he say? Like, we don't want to have a party. Or
yes. It was class. But basically, that's whenever I think of Weatherspoons, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
But it's just mad. I just think now everything's so like, you know, like the Ivy or like it's all, you know, very like everything's very bougie, you know. And I think, you know what, guys, like listen up. I think we need to like rough it up again. Like, you know, remember the days where it was like, I know whenever I think back of me being a student, you know, like now it's all like, you know, even if you eat out, it's expensive. Like fuck me, like say like a poached egg and a fucking bit of bread is nearly fucking 10 or 15 pound. Yeah. But the days whenever I think back where it was like you were able to survive, you maybe had 20 pound and you'd maybe come back from a night out with like 50.
Oh, aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just pure hustle.
Yeah.
Minesweeping.
With like 20 quid and you could still have enough to get a taxi home. Like.
Taxi home, everything. Yeah. Oh my god, like completely. And food, the full works.
Yeah.
And you don't know how you did it, but it was just a hustle. Whenever you knew you kind of had to scrape by. Yeah. You made it. You always made it work.
I still get on. I got 3.
Do you?
Like we were in, like I'm using this as one example. I do this all the time. Like we were in London and we were like going to this like fancy like Italian restaurant and all.
Right.
But there's us sitting around the side of it drinking like warm wine out of a plastic bottle that we like filled up in the hotel before we left. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm the same, and it's actually I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, and I think it's in somewhere quite fancy, and I'm a bit like, do you know what I haven't done in a while? Quarter bottle and hip flask.
Oh, why?
Do you know, like I'm not fucking spending, especially at weddings. They put the prices up. I'm not spending that. Catch yourself on, not at all. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go just more like, you know, carry out. Like the days, you remember like a pre-drink? Yeah. No, does anybody even do that? So think of it, like this was what a night out was. But I'm sorry, I'm very passionate about this. I feel like going to storm it. Michelle O'Neill, if you're listening, I don't think she is. We need to have a talk. We need to boost the nightlife economy. We need to get it up again.
The crack minister, like.
It'll be good for tourism. You know, people know about the Irish. They're great for a party. Let's revive the party because we're really missing it. But whenever I think of like the glory days, this is what it was like. Texting the friends, you know, like really living for the weekend, living for that night out. Oh my god, I can't fucking wait. And then maybe that day, say the girls would all be maybe say getting like, you know, the rollers in. They've done the fake tan from the night before. You know, they're all biz ready to rock. The fellas are maybe going for a couple of pints before the night out, you know, before you do your like sure shit shave or whatever it is that you do. The dolls are dolling up. And then pre-drinks where you had maybe like, I don't know, was it like, remember that like shitty like music channel? What's that music channel called that you could text in? Can't remember the name of it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd have that on in the background. This was before like Spotify and all that type of stuff. It was the TV, music pumping in the background. and like pre-drinks. So like Mickey Finn's, Cactus Jacks. Like, do these drinks even exist anymore? West Coast Cooler to start off.
Right.
Always like a West Coast Cooler, something just a wee bit light, or WKD. And then you got on to like the stronger stuff. So say like, you know, it was always like, for me, it was like vodka and Red Bull, which we're not about. That's bad because what was it? Vodka speeds the heart up. Vodka slows the heart down, Red Bull speeds the heart up, or something like. I remember there was always this myth, and it was like bad anyway. My friends still drink it at like 30 odd, and I'm like, you're actually vile.
I remember going out and drinking literally about like 9 or 10.
9 or 10, I was the same.
When in what world would you ever drink 10 Red Bulls?
I know, as is. I know. Says I think I do. I'm still currently sipping one here. But it was like trashy drinks.
Yeah.
And then
the Boost with like Glens in it.
Boost with Glens. Oh my god, that was it. It was Boost. Yeah, definitely. Like whenever you were trying to do it cheap, because
of it, like
the big bottle. Yeah. And then, you know, you'd go to the car out like one bag of ice. I always needed ice, even though I was roughing it up. Always had to have ice in the drink, and plastic cups because you couldn't be bothered doing the dishes the next day.
No, we would just scramble whatever was in the
whatever. Yeah, and like then that whole like, you know, like, right, who's ringing the taxis?
Yeah,
somebody was on taxi duty. You know, there was that one person, that was their job. It was always the most sensible one.
Yeah.
And the rest were all going like batshit crazy. And then next thing, right, taxis are arriving. Who's getting the first one? I was never, ever getting the first one. Not a fucking chance. See, if you had to get the first taxi, loser.
Aye.
Absolute
loser.
loser.
No one liked you.
Aye. They were getting you out so they could bitch about you. No, that's a joke. But it was always the way, like the first taxi, and then you always wanted to be in the last one because it meant more drinking time. And then you'd be in the taxi, turn the music up to the taxi driver.
Yep.
Do we do that anymore? And then, oh my God, by the time you rocked up to that club, you are fucking side roads.
Yep.
And then you're trying to walk in just to get over the line, as in get through and get in without actually getting chucked out or turned away.
Getting stopped at the door,
like them now, and like that peak energy. And then always you lost your friends as soon as you got in there. You lost everybody. It just was a free for all. Dancing, having a crack. You'd maybe see them later at the end of the night. Maybe your friend pulled somebody. Maybe God knows what was going on. It was just carnage.
You'd see them at the end of the night, and it'd be like as if you hadn't seen them in years.
Like, oh my God, where have you been all night?
What's happening? Oh my God, I can't believe you're here.
And then there was always that one friend that was always caught in the smoking area the whole night, chatting shit.
Talking to your
Sterling Fresh Burst.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love them Sterling Fresh Burst, just to be pop. Oh my God. But yeah, like that, like them days, like, you know. And it's funny though, because I've been looking back at all of this a lot. I suppose once you hit 30, you do reflect. You just start to become a lot more conscious of time. Well, for me anyway, I feel that way. I don't know if anybody listening relates. I just feel like 30, you start to notice. I think 20 you take for granted. Like you're 26 and you still feel 21. There's something about 30, and it's not a bad thing because you grow so much and you're not afraid of age, and it's not that, but you just become so aware of like, God, I really got to 30 really quickly. And then you're just so aware, like 40 is going to be really quick, and 50 will be even quicker. And it's just, you start to notice change once you hit 30. I've changed a lot since from 29 to 31. Like I'm just, honestly. Yeah, I always thought I'd be like, oh no, I'll be like 55, 60 bopping about the Kremlin, looking unreal, like Gokwan vibes. Didn't happen. No, like I'm decaying. I swear to fuck. But very, very settled, love a wee cup of tea, easy life. Meanwhile, like I used to love like the bright lights, the drama, the chaos, the full works. Do you know what I mean? Meanwhile, now it's more like, I don't know, I like the soft life kind of.
Yeah.
But that just comes with age. You just have to embrace it. But you do reflect back a lot, and I think I'm glad to say that we were a generation that got to really experience all them things. Yeah. And that's why I do feel bad for like Gen Zs or the younger generation.
I sort of feel like
they don't know any better to know. They don't have anything to compare to. Meanwhile, we're able to see what it's like now, and we knew what it was once like.
Yeah. But it's like I'm in a stage where I don't want to experience it again.
No, neither do I.
At all?
No, I'm just doing memory lane here. I'm not
100%.
no, I'm not going back to that. No,
Definitely.
I've done that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I've done it.
100%.
But I feel like it's kind of more like, do you know whenever like you go on a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
And like you're absolutely terrified, you went through every single emotion, but you came off and you're just so full of adrenaline that you're like, oh my God, you need to go do that. You need to go on that roller coaster. Like it's unreal. But somebody's like, oh, here, do you want to come on again with me? And you're like, not a fucking chance.
No chance, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's like.
You're being sick around the back.
No, that's not what it is. It's kind of more like a you move past from it.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of that. We were talking basically I'm in a bit of a with the podcast, you know, we've been talking obviously, and I kind of want to hear from you guys. You know, this episode mainly is more of like a recap kind of, you know, we've had a lot of great episodes this month. And before I go away, I want to come back and I really want to put my head down and I really want to kind of focus on it. You know, I think I've went through like a lot of different like ups and downs with it. And I think the one thing I'll definitely say is, you know, anybody wanting to start a podcast, they are like amazing and fun and enjoyable, but like, and I'm sure you guys can like vouch for this, they are hard work, and I don't think a lot of people realize, like, for this episode for you to listen to, you know, and these episodes are out every single week. You know, I try to keep consistent with it. You know, you're thinking of like new material. So sometimes I've had creative blocks in the past. You're needing to get maybe like, right, I want to get this guest and bring something different on. You know, I have said before, I want to get a new set and things. So it's always kind of like, it's just go. Yeah. And sometimes I get wee moments of self-doubt where I'm kind of like, God, like, does anybody actually appreciate it? Like, are people actually enjoying it? I think they are, but you know, I think for me, I'm really glad. I can't wait to get away, kind of have a reset, and I kind of want to go back and I really just want to focus on it, because I think I'm starting to see I suppose I started this and I didn't really know the direction it was going to go. Like, I met Sean, this is kind of how it all came about. I met Sean through going on a podcast. He was the producer for it, always wanted to do one. And then me and him just clicked, and I was like, oh my God, so like, is this what you do and how do you do this? And then we chatted, and then I met Luke, and then basically it just kind of started. I remember for about maybe 3.5 months I was like, and I couldn't really commit, and I was like, right, you know what, fuck it, I'm buying these curtains, let's just start recording.
I remember you came in here about 4 times before you even recorded anything.
Before I record, oh my, and I honestly, like, I do feel bad for them, because like I'd say, like, out of all your clients, I'm the most difficult, because I'm just so like, I was like, put my foot into the pool, put my foot out of the pool, put my foot in, but then also I'm such a perfectionist, and I think at the time I couldn't get it perfected in my head, that I was like, oh no, I'm not ready to do it. And then I was like, look, if you don't do it now, you'll never do it. And I think it was either yourself or Sean, one of you had said, it's like, look, it can grow, it can evolve, it can get better, it can improve. It's not like this, you don't have to start something at perfection.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people listening, whether this is if you want to start maybe like if it's like a job or a career, you're not going to start and wake up and be the best. Do you know what I mean?
The important thing is having it in your head of like where you want it to
where
be.
you want to go. The direction. And I think that I always had a clear direction as to where I wanted to go. And for me, it was always live events. Now, I've always hosted live events. I've always been a part of other people's live events. It's not like I'm a part of their day, but it's not my day. It's not how I would do it. I'm just like, you know, rocking up and going away. But I've always wanted to do an event, so it's my main goal this year. And you know, we've discussed this obviously, but I suppose for me, it's that whenever I'm saying when you hit them wee moments, you know, don't be fooled. I know I can come across very confident and very, you know, outgoing, but like, I also am very introverted. I am very self-critical, and I am a perfectionist. So often I would get, from time to time, like, imposter syndrome. I don't know if anybody relates to that, where like sometimes I maybe feel like I'm not good enough, or this isn't good enough, or I'm not doing good enough. And it's cruel, like, you know, to think like that. And I'm trying to tell myself not to be like that. But I suppose sometimes I think, would people want to go? Like, I think sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I'd love to go, but would they actually want to go? Like, do we have like loyal listeners that really do value these episodes and appreciate them and love them and enjoy them? Because I don't know, we're just sitting here making them. Like, we're just sitting talking to like a camera, you know, and the audio and a microphone, and you know, I don't know how people receive. I'll never know that. Well, that's the shit part about this. But I feel like a live event allows you to connect.
100%, yeah.
So I'm talking to you right now, wherever you're at right now, listen to this. You know, I'm currently in a studio with a microphone and, you know, with a camera in front of me here. But you're listening to me, but we're not like, we're not like connecting in that sense. Meanwhile, like a live event, you get to meet your community or the people who align with your values or share the same sense of humor. Like that's why I want to do a live event.
Yeah.
I just think it's a good opportunity, but I just suppose I would want it to be bang on. So back into the perfectionism kind of thing. I'd want it to be like mental.
Yeah.
Like mental. Like I've got loads of ideas. I'm not going to say them on here, just in case anybody nabs them.
Yeah.
But
you'll have to go to find out what it is.
Yeah, you'd have to go. You would have to go. Yes, you would have to go. But if you would go, like, let me know. Like, just whether you want to send me a message or a comment underneath this, let me know what you think. We're kind of thinking of like the future of the podcast. So live shows is something we want to do. Patreon, something like a lot of like different podcasts. A lot of the comedians will be doing Patreon.
Yeah.
So explain what Patreon is to anybody listening that maybe wouldn't know, because I'm not really fully familiar. I'm only becoming familiar now.
Okay, so Patreon is basically a platform.
Yeah.
Sort of like, you could look at it like another social media.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's an option for you to set like a fee.
Okay.
For people to like follow you.
Oh, right. So it's kind of like a subscription.
Like subscription, yeah.
Okay.
So loads of different types of creators use it for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, like I watch some like people who do like guitar stuff on YouTube or whatever,
and they'll do
like Patreon, and they'll have like extra content or like wee lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For the comedians, other podcasts that we do and stuff, you'll get like bonus episodes, extra episodes, like exclusive content, extra episodes with guests and Q&A sessions that it's sort of like, and
it sounds like a way where you're able to interact more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's sort of more of a middle ground between this and the live event thing, because there's more of a like actual community there that you can like interact with and stuff.
Yeah.
And
it seems to be very, very popular, because I know what, like, as in, so there's a lot of people out there, and I don't know if we have listeners that are like this, and sorry for talking about this in an episode, I'm just doing like a wee bit of like market research, but it's kind of like a lot of listeners are like, they are big into Patreon. They do love love that kind of stuff, and like they follow like like the likes of like like Mudblood or all the different kind of podcasts out there. Tea with me, Shane Todd, but I don't know, like, do we have like Patreon subscribers in here? Is that something that you would love to see? It just means, I suppose for me, what I would love to, like, for the next stage of this is I would love to just create more like engagement. I used to do this thing on Instagram where it was like Wednesday polls, and it was like topical kind of things, like like never have I ever, like say, and then it was a question, or things like that there. And like I always loved it because you're interacting with people, or people would send in their like dilemmas, and we've done dilemmas on here too, but just being able to engage with your audience.
Well, that's it. It's a way for you to be able to do that with people who they're going to be paying monthly, whatever it may be. Yeah. So that they're engaged and they are like genuine listeners and fans that are like following this journey. Like, do you know what I mean? Rather than just putting it out to like the masses, absolutely everybody. And,
it's more like it's like a niche tight knit community kind of.
Yeah, and it's a kind of way for you to like give a bit more to those like sort of.
Like your day ones, or the people that, like your regular listeners that really do.
It's to be able to give them a bit extra, but also it's kind of a way for them to show their appreciation for the fact that this is going out every week. It's absolutely free. It's on YouTube. You don't have to pay anything for it. No, and it helps, number one, keep the podcast afloat. Yeah, for them to get more out of it and just help it grow as well.
Kind of sounds like as if we're like we're looking at grant. Can we play some like violin music right now, just for a minute, while I look at this camera whatever, camera one? Go ahead. Guys, I'm getting it really, really tight. Okay, I'm going to Thailand, and I don't know how I'm going to get by. Look, I'm really, 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 really just needing your help here. So look, I will do whatever it takes. Look, if you want me to deep throat a banana on Patreon, or if you want me to like spread my legs on a live show in the Waterfront Hall, just let me know. But please, your support means a lot to us. This is kind of sounding, do you remember? No, I can't even say it. Bleep me saying it. But hold on, so look, we're only joking, right? Okay, sorry. Look, but basically we're just trying to get a bit of feedback or a bit of intel, like, what do your listeners enjoy? What would they like to see from this podcast? So whether you want to send the podcast page a message, myself, or comment underneath this, we would value it. But we're kind of like cost of living crisis, price increase in Chineses, price increase in drink. Weatherspoons is the only place where you can get a cheap bevy these days. We need to bring back roughing it up, guys. And, you know, I was saying that earlier, but I really want to drill this in. Remember the days where, like, you know, it was literally like survival of the fittest. You know, you literally scrape by on a night out, as we said, £20, you'd come home with 50. You go to a restaurant, you go to the toilet. Oh, you're taking a full toilet roll home. You're never buying toilet roll. Or was that just
coming
me?
home with you, like,
what?
The pint glass coming home with you, like.
Pint glass coming home. You know you have one in your cupboard. Them days, we need to rough it up.
Yes.
Cost of living crisis is affecting us all in every way. So we need to bring back, you know, stop trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Take what you're owed.
Take what you're owed.
My mate I used to live with won a competition one time to go to Iceland.
Right.
In the park centre.
On what?
In the park centre, right?
Right. Do you mean the park centre, on the Balls to the Falls?
Yeah.
Yes.
He won a competition to go there and do, like, do you remember, like,
Sorry, competition to go to the park centre or competition to go to Iceland?
To go to Iceland in the park centre.
Iceland as in Iceland, the frozen food shop in Park Centre.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you meant right. So not Iceland, the country.
Yeah. So going there wasn't the prize. The thing was,
okay,
he had to do basically. Do you remember like Dale's supermarket sweep?
Yes.
He won a competition basically to go over there and do that.
Right.
And he went over and filled
in Iceland, the frozen food shop at the Park Centre. Right. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
And he filled the trolley up with hundreds of fucking toilet rolls, like.
Really?
And you know what? It was definitely the right shout.
Really?
Yeah. Because we never had to buy toilet roll for a couple of years.
A couple of years.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and do you know what? You don't realise how much like you shit.
at the time, I was going
like a household.
You could have got fucking all sorts, like.
Yeah.
But here.
But the fish fingers, I like what maybe say like 7 or 8 in a box, and then they're gone.
Yeah,
meanwhile, like
are only so big, like.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a toilet roll will do you, but also it runs quick.
It does.
It does run quick.
Yep.
Yeah, we've kind of covered a bit of a lot here, so I don't really know where we go from here. But hold on, right? So we've got a story, right? So Jaraoke, look, if you know, you know, I haven't talked about this yet, so we're going to talk about it now. But first, let's hear from today's sponsor. Guys, this week's episode is sponsored by Voodoo's. Voodoo's, if you don't know, are an Irish hair brand who have a selection of hot styling tools, home care ranges, styling products, and accessories. Whether you're looking to revitalize your hair, add some value, or just give it the love it deserves, Voodoo's has a range of products that do it all. Okay, so this month's sponsor are Voodoo's. As you guys know, we have that exclusive discount code PopMyCherry. It is 20%. Unlike everybody else's, which is 15. Emma Kearney, if you're listening, don't even try to get that shit plugged. But in front of me, as you can see, we've got all these products here. We've got the hair care products. You've got the hairstyling tools. You have got the hair accessories. Everything. Shampoo, conditioner, hair oils, everything. There is so much on that website. If you want to head over and check it out. The website will be in the description section in this episode. You know, I absolutely do love the brand. I do use their shampoos and their conditioners. And also the scalp treatment is absolutely amazing. And then there's also a really good brush. If you do suffer from a dry scalp like myself, I really do recommend that. It's got like a nice minty tingle, which is really good for stimulating hair growth. But guys, don't forget, if you are going to go onto the website, you will save 20% off. It is the highest code, PopMyCherry. And just as an emphasis, we do really appreciate anybody that does use the discount code. And thanks again to Voodoo's for sponsoring this episode. But look, we're going to get back into this solo episode and find out what went on at Gerryoke. Okay, so thanks again to Voodoo's for sponsoring. Okay, so Gerryoke, look, so if you know, we've talked on here before about the karaoke experience in the cruise ship. Gave me some brainiac idea to run a karaoke event. So I teamed up with Millie's and Dunmurray and we done Gerryoke. I think that's a quirky name.
Yeah, it's good.
Do you get it?
Yeah, it's good.
Like Jerry...
I like it.
And okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was really creative. They came up with that, not me. I'll give them the credit for it. But Gerryoke, so I kind of thought, you know, a nice sweet, the vibe I was going for was very much like Rover's Return doing karaoke. So nice wee crowd, familiar, you're eating your packet of KP nuts or your wee packet of bacon fries. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to put a wee song request in, you know, you give your X Factor edition. And you have a gig. So rocked up in the day and was staying in the Balmoral. Absolutely beautiful. Loved that because it was up first thing the next day. So I couldn't really properly enjoy it and get stuck in, like say, like drinking with everybody. So was was on the Blackburn and Water, and rocked up to Millie's, lovely bar. Have you ever been to Millie's?
No.
No?
I've been past it recently, actually.
Yeah.
What, it used to be something else.
Yeah, so I got a big refurb, yeah.
Good.
I know it is
Looks
really good.
Like.
Really, really good. But it the room where it was at, gorgeous wee room, so nicely furnished, nice wee cozy size for like a nice intimate karaoke set. And then, you know, everybody started to arrive, like all the girls. And I kind of was a wee bit apprehensive, thinking, oh God, like I really hope people get up and sing. You know, like, because you're running a karaoke night, you can understand some people are maybe a wee bit like shy.
Yeah.
And then I kind of thought, like, you know, maybe like they'll need to have a couple of drinks maybe first before they maybe would want to go up and sing a song or whatever. Well, no, because it was St. Patrick's Eve. And if we know anything about this year with St. Patrick's Day fell on a fucking Monday of all days. So St. Patrick's Day was on Sunday because of, like, I think a lot of places had it for a bank holiday. So technically Sunday was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, and then everyone could die on the Monday. Like.
Die on the Monday. So I walk in, and when people start to arrive, and I wasn't too sure, well, no, everybody is on the steamboat, full steam ahead, day drinking like no doubt. Randomers from the bar next door coming in. I thought, well, like, look, you know, I'm no doorman. I'm easy going. Come on in. The more the merrier. And I'm not going to lie. Number one, I must give credit where credit is due. Don Murray has talent. Like, I thought I was bad in that karaoke incident on the cruise ship. We had roly-polies, people jumping off the stage, giving it like stacks. Some really, really, really good singers as well.
Really?
Unbelievable. There was a girl that sang Mary. Now, I thought this was a clinker for a karaoke song because you forget about it, but unreal. Mary J. Blige and U2. One love. You got to do what you show. Don't say you know it, look.
I don't know if I know it.
One life for each other.
Oh, yeah. It sounds familiar.
And my brothers. One life. I'm really not
Did
doing
she sound like that?
She didn't sound like, fuck off, you can't. She didn't sound like that. No, she was unbelievable. But like a song I would never have thought of for karaoke. Yeah. So we had that. We had Amy Winehouse. We had Celine Dion. We had Tina Turner, Proud Mary.
Yep.
We had WAP. We had fucking WAP. So, you know, Cardi B knew the full rap. Like, I want to touch that dangly thing in the back of my throat. And like the full graphic rap. I was like, oh my God. A girl, honestly, I think her name was Yazzie. Shout out to Yazzie, if I'm getting it right. She sang Will Smith, Getting Jiggy With It. Right. And she knew the full rap, and it was like a slay. She was wearing like leopard print hooker boots.
Did anyone get up and do like a real like emotional sad one? Like,
no.
Someone always wants to do.
No, that never happened. No, that never happened. So we didn't have the Debbie. There was no Debbie Downer. Good. But we did have a girl, Lisa. Shout out to Lisa. Lisa. I don't know if Lisa had a ticket, but Lisa was in the bar, and Lisa was a vibe. And Lisa got up, she sang, I can't remember what she sang, but if she sang one song, she sang 20. I don't really think it was Jaraoke. It was the Lisa concert. It was the Lisa residency in Millie's. Lisa Live in Dunmurray and Millie's. And do you know what? Like, even to the point where, do you know where somebody maybe was really drunk or maybe was at the toilet and say, for instance, like, Patricia. So next up we have Patricia singing Bonnie Tyler. Lisa rocked up as if she was Patricia, and just like gate crashed the song and like done an Irish dance, which was
nice song.
That's and I kind of thought, like, do you know what? Like, Lisa, you've definitely been day drinking, so I am not going to dispute with this. I'm going to give you that microphone. You work away, and I'm not going to lie. She put on a show. She put on an absolute show. She did on Irish dancing. Everybody was up having a crack. It was like a laugh. But then, do you know what it's like whenever it gets to the point? I think whenever you're sober, you're so aware. So because I was sober, I was like, Jesus, like, it's now 9 o'clock. Everybody's been day drinking. Everybody's getting really, really drunk now. So it was a good night. So it was kind of, so kind of like it finished at 10:30, which I thought was a good time. And everybody was still wanting to keep going. So they were all loving it, and it was good. It was good crack. I definitely would do one again, but I love the wee bar. Mm-hmm. But it was hilarious. From me thinking, God, I'm really going to have to get people, you know, going and get them really encouraged to sing. Not an issue there.
Brilliant.
And everybody's just really
like no one would get up and you would have to do loads of
And
numbers on your own.
yeah, so I was thinking that, oh fuck, am I going to have to fucking do like, am I going to have to do Lisa? Like, thank God for Lisa. Like, she honestly carried it. She really did carry it. But like, everybody just got up, took part, got involved, had the crack. And everybody was so lovely as well. Like, I loved it. I definitely would do one again. It was definitely what I wanted it to be. So whenever I think of karaoke, that, like, you know, like we had like, you know, the leopard print, the hooker bits, you know, we had a variety of different songs, like, you know, No What Else Shade, Cardi B WAP, like, you know, loving it. But it was so good. At the minute as well, I don't know if we've told you or not, look, I'm trying to get really into like the whole fitness. Obviously we've talked a lot. You can tell I'm very conscious of time and conscious of being 31. So like very health conscious. So trying to get into this whole like, just not exercising to have a beach body, not exercising to have like a better bum or anything like that.
Just
literally
better,
just to
like,
stay alive. Yeah. Be healthier. I just feel like now's a good time to be kind of, you know, do it now before it gets harder to keep on top of it.
That's it, because then it becomes part of like
your routine.
Yeah, and it's not even like just your routine. It's more so like it becomes like part of what you do.
Yeah.
So then like if there's a day that you miss doing something, or you don't go on a run this evening or whatever, you'll feel yourself going like you
miss it,
want to do it, rather than like you're forcing yourself to do it.
And that's
like,
kind of my goal. And I think anybody that maybe does relate to this or struggles with this, where you're kind of like, you do want to like obviously like make like health improvements and things like that, and you want to get like into like a better system with exercise. I think you have to like an end goal can't be your goal.
100%.
My goal is to build a relationship, a consistent relationship with like exercise. But I do find like, so like for me, I'm very like, I get bored very easily. So the whole gym kind of thing, lifting things, I don't find it stimulating for my mind. I love running. I feel like running is very like, technically you're kind of running away from your problems. After you feel really good, a weight's been lifted off your shoulders. I love getting up really early, like an early morning workout. Now I used to always struggle with this, but now like I'd get up like 6 a.m.
Like the night before,
which if you know me, you know was not my thing.
That you're like looking forward to it.
Looking forward, yeah. I feel now I have been slacking a wee bit. The worst time, especially whenever you're going away on holidays, that's the time you should be getting them last minute sessions really in. But I've got in like a better relationship with it, and I'm really enjoying it. But I want to try, like, have you ever tried like kickboxing? Like I want to do like, you know, like more like each day, like a random day. I was just about
to say you should do some martial arts.
Martial arts,
if things bore you. If going to the gym and stuff bores you, that's
because you're still
100% what you should do. Like we were talking earlier about Muay Thai.
Yes.
And stuff, so I done that for a good few years. Like,
oh really? Right.
I'm gonna get back into it soon. I know I'm sitting here saying, but
we're
both saying about
we're giving it all talk. You know, whenever like you listen to people and you're like, you're so full of shit. No, we're being serious here.
Like I used to go to training at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like a 2-hour session.
Yeah.
And it's 70% just someone blasting you through a workout.
Really?
And then the rest of it is like you actually, you know, sparring someone.
Yeah.
And
right, okay.
Even at the, or like, you know, doing like technique in terms of like kicking and punching and stuff like that. But even at that, you're getting burnt out. You're really exercising, and you've way too much to think about than going, I could be fucked doing this.
Yes.
Because like if you stop thinking for a second, you'll get hit in the face. So like
and I think that's what it is. I think for a lot of people, I think this is the problem. I think people look at exercise as such like a one-way road. And then if something does, and this is where I struggled a lot, and I hope this, now look, LOL, looking at me giving it fucking Mr. Motivator here whenever I'm like fuck all squared. But for someone that's trying to start and it's actually like, I'm now getting up 6 a.m, I'm going to the classes, I'm enjoying them, and I'm now like, right, what next?
Turn it into a game.
Yeah.
Is
like
what
next
I found,
level.
Like,
is that what you mean? Like
but even the actual like workouts themselves,
like something that's kind of more like competitive or
that's
more
why
like
that, like,
you know,
I really like resonated with that. And as well, I've done like Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Oh wow.
Which is like it's sort of, it's grappling. So it's like, it's a martial art that's all based on like basically like there's no like kicking and punching and that kind of stuff. It's all like grappling on the ground, and it's like, you know, different sort of like submission moves or whatever, like that kind of stuff. Like, but it's like the most intense. Yeah. Because you're basically like struggling with like the weight of someone else trying to literally strangle you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it has to become like a bit, it's very like competitive in that way. Yeah. And the only way to train for it is to just do it.
And so that's, I think sometimes you need a drive beyond yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, so if you're like, say like lifting and you're kind of like, right, you kind of, it's very easy to kind of like give up if you find, if you're like me and you kind of have a very like,
it's easy to say
you get bored of things and things like that, and you know, and also I do have that kind of like, I could tap out easy. Yeah. Meanwhile, what would I say, like, trying to lift a weight just repeatedly, I'll find boring. But trying to learn a move or trying to learn, like, so say I used to do like pole dancing,
Right.
which is kind of mad. I don't know if anybody knows this or not. And I was good at it, really, really good. But for me, it was that like the chopper, say for instance, or if you're trying to do like, there's this thing like a fish move where like you like flap kind of like that on the ground, and like you transition from the pole to that or whatever, like the butterfly. There's all these different moves in pole, and a lot of people always sit and think like pole, like, oh, lol, like, oh, you know, whenever you hear people like, oh, going to quit my job, can't be fucked with it, say if they're, I don't know, like whatever, and they're like, I might just become a pole dancer. I'm like, bitch, you can never, because it's fucking hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard. You need so much upper body strength, flexibility, core strength, like your entire body feels it.
It's gymnastics, like.
Yeah, but like it's insane. But like I loved it. So say for instance, if I couldn't get a move,
You get obsessed
I'm like,
with it.
again, right, do it again until I could get that move right.
100%.
Get your posture right, get your, like, hold that move out for longer, like, you know, things like that. Meanwhile, as opposed to just, but you're doing so much and you're working every muscle in your body.
Yeah.
You know, it's sociable, it's fun. I felt confident doing it. I'm not like, it's going to sound so like mums and Facebook, but like I felt sexy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I enjoyed it. It made me tick. I've done like, you know, I didn't do it, but like I've done it, say like show jumping with horses. I really enjoyed that, like just like a couple of lessons, you know. So what I'm saying is, I think with this one way outlook where we think exercise has to be this thing of the people that we look above us, it has to be like High Rocks, or it has to be CrossFit, and them things are all fantastic and great as well, or it has to be the gym. But like the thing is, try different things, and that's where I'm at now. I want to try boxing. I want to get back in the pool. I want to give Pilates a go. I know everybody's very much like it's Pilates mania, but it's meant to have a lot of benefits. Yoga, there's so many different things, like exercises beyond like heavy lifting.
Do you know what I found as well with like not just like exercising, but with even doing things like MMA and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's all like motivation is the wrong word.
Yeah, mental discipline.
It's just discipline, yeah.
Yeah.
It's discipline over motivation. Because if you're disciplined, it's like you're making like a pact with yourself that like you're gonna do something.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think one of the greatest qualities to be able to have in work, in life, and everything is discipline.
100%. And
it's something a lot of us definitely do struggle with, if we're to be honest. But to be a very disciplined person, like I just think it really does carry you, and to have that drive and have that focus. But I feel like when you're saying with the martial arts and things like that, there, the level of like it's not about the strength, it's about the technique, the tactic, the move.
That's it. I got obsessed. You know, with like, you know, getting better and pushing yourself against other people,
and it's all brain. It's all brain.
That's it.
Yeah,
completely. Like.
So like, you're working every muscle in your body without even realize. It's not feeling like a drag because you're so focused, but you're also really stimulating your mind. And that's why I even say like the boot camp classes that I go to. See, whenever I finish them, like finished at about 7 a.m, 7:30, and I feel like I'm awake.
Yeah, your brain.
I'm awake. I'm stimulated. I'm ready to go. Yeah. LOL, listen to me, like Mr. Motivator. But look, that's just like, look, this is all today really is. It's just a wee catch up. It's a wee kiki. That's a bit of a recap. But this is me now away off on my hollybobs. So I cannot wait to go to Thailand. Obviously, I will be coming back and I'll give a full recap on how I get on. But I hope you did enjoy this episode. It's just more like a wee cushy one. You're doing the cleaning. You're on a long drive. Just an easy listen. But I hope you enjoyed, and don't be worrying because we'll have episodes. We have 2 very exciting guests coming next week and the week after, so that's whenever I'll be away. But don't worry, the podcast is still going to be going. There will still be episodes out, so there will be one out next week and there will be one out the week after that there, and then we'll be back from Thailand, hopefully with a nice tan. Might do some Muay Thai. Like the Muay Park, Muay Thai. And I'll definitely be drinking a few Muay Thais because, look, we've been talking all that Weatherspoons chat's got me a wee bit thirsty. So a bit of both, a bit of balance. That's what it's all about. But look, we will be back next week. So remember, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, this is your reminder. If you have that Google account on YouTube, if you're watching, make sure to subscribe. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever way you choose to listen to us, make sure to subscribe. That keeps you in tune for upcoming episodes, and the episodes will still be coming out next week and the week after that. But from myself, I hope you enjoyed. And yes, see you guys again next week.